heavy.
In 2017, two creation scientists I know started a research project in the Grand Canyon. They were studying some amazing things.
We think these layers were laid down during the flood. The folding occurred only a year later, at the end of the flood, when the mountains and plateaus were rising in the west.
I think these mountains that we're looking at actually rose at the end of the flood.
And so as the mountains lift up, the soft sediments get deformed, and that's that big bend that we're seeing in the rocks.
If those layers were still soft when they were folded, they can't be hundreds of millions of years old.
Notice it looks like soft sediment deformation. You can see the strata, they're horizontal, and all of a sudden they turn 90 degrees. They're folded, like soft cafe.
It's hard for people to grasp, but we're going to go to the microscope scale to explain the formation of mountains. A lot of people ask me the question, now why the Grand Canyon? It's important because it's been used at Exhibit A for millions of years and biological evolution. And that's why it's important that creationists also come to the Grand Canyon and say, no, it's Exhibit A for creation and the flood.
I'm Del Tackett. I'm excited to be your guide as we explore the rise of mountains after the flood.
And I think if we break some of these layers of rock open, we'll find some fish.
I'm hoping that happens.
Yeah. So what we're gonna do is go in right along a seam right in here, and you can see how this whole thing is
That's a big
lifting
slab.
up here. Yeah, it's a big slab. And just kind of get your fingers underneath there and lift it up. And so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take some of these chisels. Yeah, we're gonna split down through this
Going down on it.
and see what we can find.
Is this what your research assistants did? Hold the rock while you...
That's right, all day long. Yeah, look at that, Del.
Oh yeah, look
Got
at that.
at least 3 fish here.
Yeah.
So there's one there, one right there, another one there, another one there.
Oh my goodness.
That was a good break right there.
Yeah.
So these all look like Nidia, just a little herring type fish. Boy, that one is a really nice one right there.
It is.
Del, if you look at the edge right here, you can see multiple layers in here.
Yeah, I do.
And they're not very thick. They're almost as thick as
Yes.
playing cards.
Uh-huh.
And the conventional idea is that each pair of a layer, a dark layer and a light layer, lasted a year. But you look at fish like this guy down here, I do not see a single bone out of place. The fins are nice and splayed out right there. And based on my fish experiments, that thing sank down to the bottom of the lake and was buried in a calcium carbonate layer within a day after it laid down to the bottom. And I think that's the only way that you can explain such good preservation. And not only we see it there, but that fish, and that fish, they all have really exceptional preservation, and they have to be buried quickly.
Yeah, there's really just a lot of fine detail in that fossil there. So those small, tiny layers that we're looking at here, those are not annual layers.
I don't
Those have to
see
be
any way that they could be annual layers based
Almost
on
daily.
how well they're yeah, I would think almost daily layers here. Something was different about the water chemistry here in that it was precipitating a lot of this calcium carbonate out, which was covering the fish. The other thing that's really interesting about this particular outcrop is there's several volcanic ash